right, from Cyclone Stadium, welcome to tonight's broadcast of high school boys varsity lacrosse as the Cyclones play host to the visiting Fighting Hornets of Orange County High School. I'm Mark O'Connell, joined by Jeff Say. And Jeff, after a 3-year hiatus, we're back, and we're live tonight. I was going to ask you where you've been, but it's been an odd 3 years, but we're back.
Well, I'm just happy to be back. I've really missed lacrosse. A career change, a pandemic, and now we're back on the lacrosse field, Mark. I'm so excited to be out here, to be watching the Cyclones and the Hornets here tonight. Back in the saddle with you, my friend. It's always a good time when it's lacrosse.
Yeah, I think you probably missed me the most, Joe.
I think so.
I know you've been really busy. You got a lot on your plate. We all do. But 2019 was the last time we broadcasted. 2020 was the pandemic. 2021 just couldn't get it rolling last year. But we're back this year. Now, we get our first look of the season opening with Eastern View. We're supposed to take the field last Thursday, St. Patrick's Day, Culpeper, Eastern View. That game was washed out. It'll be continued or rescheduled. So tonight we get Eastern View making its debut against Orange County. Orange County, new to the program. They just started their lacrosse team about 2 years ago. I was talking to one of their assistant coaches, and this last year was really their first varsity year.
And I'm sure the Cyclones are looking to feast on the Hornets then, as we've seen these growing pains of these young teams over the years as they're learning the sport and they're getting acclimated. And the Cyclones have a lot of experience. They've got 3 seniors on offense that are really going to lead the charge. Connor Weeks is one. We're going to hear his name quite a bit. Kaiser Abed is somebody else that we're going to hear a lot of names of. And so these Cyclones have a lot of experience, and they're going to be hungry and ready tonight for these Hornets, looking to feast on these young teams.
And, one of the most important positions, one of the hardest positions to play in lacrosse, goalie. And Eastern View has a returning goalie there. He was a first-team all-district selection last year. So Coach Frazier told me they didn't win any games last year, but the outcome a little deceiving in the sense that 4 of those games, 2 were by 1 goal, 1 by 2, and then 1 by 3 or whatever it was. It's like they were in a lot of games, just couldn't, put it all together for the full game and pull it out. So a little deceptive on the wins, losses, no wins, and a lot of those close games, those close losses.
Frustrating was the way that he put it. Those losses were frustrating. They wanted to win. They were so close, and yet so far away. So tonight, here they are looking for their first win in 3 years. And the Cyclones are ready to get it going.
It's great to be back with you, Jeff. It's great to be with Johnny behind the camera. Nicole Wooten is back in the studio. We are live tonight, so there'll be no editing of my mistakes, Jeff.
Or
they're out there. They're just out there.
I'm rusty, Mark. I'm rusty. I'm not going to lie.
Well, I've been tuning up my game the last couple of weekends, been watching some lacrosse games, and I'm going to share a story with you tonight about the Navy-Johns Hopkins game last Saturday. That was a thriller. So anyway, we'll have a lot to talk about tonight. Right now, we're going to take a break. When we come back, it's going to be the Fighting Hornets of Orange County taking on the Cyclones of Eastern View and the opening face-off after these messages. Stay tuned. You're watching Cyclones Lacrosse on the Culpeper Media Network.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, featuring Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. From shirts to banners and everything in between, imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. More than just a respected funeral home, Found & Sons supports youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530.
All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Culpeper Media Network's broadcast of high school lacrosse, as tonight the homestanding Cyclones play host to the Fighting Hornets of Orange County. Hello, everyone. I'm Mark O'Connell alongside Jeff Say. The man behind the camera tonight is, of course, Johnny Krawchuk. And back in the studio, Nicole Wooten We thank you for your support and all your technical expertise. We are live tonight. Jeff, great to be with you. The starters have been introduced, pretty much remote teams at this point. I'm looking forward to a good game. I think Eastern View looking to sort of establish themselves this year after a winless season a year ago. And Orange County is new to the sports, to the sport and having a lacrosse program.
Mark, we've talked a long time over the years. It's been, 14, 15 years that we've been doing lacrosse together now, minus a little 3-year hiatus we've had. And confidence is the main thing when you're talking about a team. When a team has confidence, they are playing much better. And the Cyclones are looking for that confidence. You mentioned a winless season last year, some close losses. Frustrated is the word that Chris Frazier used for his Cyclones. This year, I think they're looking to feast on this young Hornets team early to build that confidence.
Jeff, let's talk about some of the players whose names and numbers we expect to call frequently tonight. I'm going to start with the goalie, Matthew Greenfield, because playing goalie is going to be the most difficult position to play. And that may be true in hockey and soccer and lacrosse as well. But in Matthew Greenfield, they have a returning player who was a first-team All-District selection last year. But you also like what Coach Frazier has said about his scores this year.
When we were talking with Chris Frazier early today, he mentioned that offense is his strength, and he mentioned Connor Weeks on attack. And there's a group of seniors on offense that is really going to take control here tonight. That is what they're looking to do. They're going to force turnovers. They're going to try to get that fast break mark, and they're looking to score early and often.
And Jeff, I think one of the nice things, and it's an intangible, is that I'm happy that Orange County has a lacrosse program now, because Orange County and Culpeper have been rivals in so many different sports over the years. To me, it's only fitting that lacrosse become a part of that rivalry.
Well, it's always surprising to me that Orange didn't have a lacrosse team. They're not far removed from Charlottesville. UVA has historically had a very solid program. The colors are very similar to the Yahoos, so I'm always been a little bit shocked that Orange didn't have a program. Now they are here playing at Cyclone Stadium.
And they really do. There's a sense of taking pride in those team colors, because they do sort of liken themselves to the apparel, if you will, of UVA. And there are a lot of UVA fans over in Orange County, due primarily and naturally to proximity. Well, Orange County has won that opening face-off, Jeff. And so we're going to see them set up here on offense in this settled situation for both teams. And we're going to get a look early on at how well Orange County can distribute the ball.
Well, Mark, you have to wonder how much pregame jitters are going to play in here. I mean, this is the first game of the year. You had your first game rained out. Some things never change. Rainouts.
Yeah.
We've had pandemics. We've had all these other crazy things go on. Weather has been the one constant. Weather here in Culpeper County has been crazy. Last week, rain, lost a game against Culpeper. That was supposed to be the big first rivalry game. And now you have to wonder, how prepared are these Cyclones? How nervous are these young players?
Yeah, it's really hard to know, and certainly would be a difficult thing to quantify. And after that technical violation a moment ago, the ball switches over to Eastern View. So now we get a look at the Eastern View offense, and we'll start naming some of those players and numbers as they start becoming a part of the mix. Connor Weeks in that X position, he wears number 3. Why not? He wears number 3 on the football field. And Connor Weeks is someone that Coach Frazier certainly has singled out. All right, this one is loose on the ground. Looks like Eastern View will retain possession, and they do.
Mark, Chris Frazier referred to his offense as smart. And you saw that early on there. They're moving the ball behind that X position. Connor Weeks trying to find somebody, looking out for Derek Brown, number 13 on the point. Had a little bit of a turnover there, but you see how the Cyclones offense is trying to make it happen here.
Well, I think they're going to be going through Connor Weeks a whole lot, don't you?
Connor Weeks is a leader, and we've seen that on the football field. We've seen that here early. I mean, I remember covering him 3 years ago and being impressed with him. And now he has that experience. He has a lot more maturity, and you see that out here early tonight.
And Jeff, each year there are rule changes. Two that come into mind, and I wanted Chris Frazier the coach to illustrate that. Maybe the next time we have a pregame show to do this, but here's Orange County working the ball around the perimeter there. But one of the changes has to do with the face-off grip. And then another, here's winding up and ripping that one from top of the key was number 17 for Orange County.
Wyatt Oliver.
Wyatt Oliver, right. That was a little bit wide of the mark, although I think the goalie got his stick on it. And Orange County will keep it. What was I talking about, Jeff?
You were mentioning the grip there on face-offs.
One of the grips is a huge change this year. It affects face-off players. And the other thing is the emphasis on protection. And I think more players are wearing more of a requirement for protective gear.
Well, safety is always paramount.
Right.
You've really got to keep an eye out for these kids. You know, they're high school kids. They're young, 15 to 18. You know, you don't want to see them get banged up. You want to protect them as much as possible. So I think extra safety equipment is a good idea. I know that that can sometimes be uncomfortable or cumbersome, but I think being able to protect them is key.
Yeah, well said. Well, right now, Orange County has had one shot on goal. Eastern View has not been able to launch one yet. Orange County keeping in possession. And Jeff, if you can see that clock, here's a rip. This one was stopped in front of goal. Then he got the rebound and the shot back. Let's see who got it. Was it number 1, Thomas Payette for Orange County? And he puts the Hornets on the board first. Let's check the time on that, Jeff. We got a lot of glare on that scoreboard clock down there.
8:52, and Payette with a nice shot there on a rebound. Coming back out, he was able to recover and get a quick shot off. One thing noticed here with the Cyclones, having some trouble with possession early on, and Orange doing a nice job of just peppering the goalie and being able to get a shot past Matthew Greenfield here early on. 1-0 for the Hornets.
All right, back to the face-off for Orange County, number 8, Bill Lee. And can you pick up the number there for, is that Connor? That's not Connor Weeks, let's see.
That is number 22, that's Nolan and Natali.
Nolan Natali, okay. And here he comes away with the ball. He draws a crowd, gets rid of it, ball is on the ground. Let's see who's gonna take possession. It's gonna be Eastern View, and that's number 7, Donovan Elliott. So Eastern View on the move here. Let's see if they have turned it over.
They did. Donovan Elliott with a little bit of an errant pass there. The Cyclones kind of pushing, trying to rush a little bit. Again, it's that early game jitters. I'm going to have to calm themselves down. Chris Frazier might be well positioned to take a little time out here to get his team under control.
And some of the rules, certainly have to do with the illegal checking. As you pointed out, Jeff, this player on the run making a charge toward the Eastern View goal was Will Flanagan. Didn't have much on that one. And the ball sailed over the cage, and that's going to be tracked down by Eastern View, and the Cyclones will go back on offense here. Here's the goalie with his outlet pass. Nice job by Greenfield, and here come the Cyclones. Winding up, taking a shot. This is wide of the mark, and running it down. Eastern View, man closest to it. They'll stay in possession, Jeff.
That was a good shot right there by Aiden Steins.
And now here's Connor Weeks on the perimeter. They'll set up their offense. Donovan Elliott on the move, in traffic. Still able to hold on to the ball, keep possession of it. Now he backpedals out of there. They'll slow it back down and work for another opening. On the run, taking a shot, and a nice save by Reese Horn in goal for the Hornets.
That was Derek Brown with a great shot. Cyclones doing a good job of moving the ball there.
And turning around and taking a shot. He set up pretty close there at the bottom of that pike, turned around and scored. You got the numbers at 7?
That was Wyatt Oliver, number 17.
17 for Orange County, Wyatt Oliver. So you've got Thomas Payette and Wyatt Oliver give the Hornets a 2-0 lead here in the first quarter. Well, this broadcast is brought to you by our live sponsor, Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air at 718-7556. Back to the face-off, the all-important face-off. you know, the team that wins most of those, good things usually follow, don't they?
And Evan Edwards winning that one for the Cyclones and trying to get something going offensively using the speed.
Right there in front of goal and unable to cash in as the shot just wasn't on the mark, and so that was a missed opportunity for Eastern View.
Joshua Hott had that ball deflected up in the air, but this is a little bit of a, wow, nice shot right there by Brown.
It was, and I don't think the goalie knew where it was, although he may have deflected it, then they were looking for it, and Eastern View ran it down. So a couple back-to-back shot attempts now for Eastern View. So, Jeff, they're starting to apply a little pressure, and they're going to have to because they're down 2-0. It's time for them to answer.
Absolutely. You used that word I was just about to use myself, was pressure. They're doing a really good job of swarming the net right now.
All right. This may be a pushing off or warding off against Eastern View. You know, Jeff, we've had to learn the difference between the technical and personal fouls. And actually, I was wrong. It wasn't against Eastern View. It was against Orange County. And that may have been, I'm not really sure what the call was at this point. Maybe we'll revisit that. And they're taking a run and then a shot, which was wide of the cage. But Eastern View will track it down. So, again, we go back to that pressure. As you mentioned, Jeff, they're starting to put a little pressure on that Hornet goal. And so far, Hornet goalie Reese Horn doing a good job for Orange County.
Been really impressed with Horn. He's taken some good angles there, knocked some balls away. But the Cyclones doing the right thing. They're keeping that pressure on. Connor Weeks here in that X position again, trying to get something to happen. Got
through a double team, then he takes a hit, and somehow he holds on to the ball until it finally does get jarred loose. And now they'll have a scramble. Eastern View comes back away with it. They set back up on offense, letting this one rip. And what a nice save again by Reese Horn. Of that, was that the shot taken by number 13 of Eastern View, Jeff?
That was Derek Brown once again with a shot.
So Reese Horn keeping the shutout intact so far for the Hornets.
And the Cyclones, Chris Frazier now calling a timeout as his team gained possession. Just being able to calm them down, kind of get them back in control. They're playing a little bit wild there. They're really pressing. They're trying to get back in this game down 2-0 with about 5:34 to go. Early in the game so far, Mark.
Well, as they take a timeout, we'll have an opportunity to thank our sponsors. Let's start with Battlefield Automotive, featuring Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. 547-3673. And also Cash Imprints. You know, from shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints. 317-1473. Every time I think of Battlefield Automotive, I can't help but think of our old buddy Jeremy Bailey, one of the best high school football players, I think, to come out of Culpeper County High School, and a member of that 1999 state championship team. I don't know if you ever had a chance to meet him.
I have. I was going to, as you were saying that, I was about to interject with the 99 team.
Yeah.
That is still lore here. It's been 20 years. Can you believe that? 20 years.
Yeah, actually, you want to get down to the nitty-gritty. It's been almost 23.
Almost 23 years. But
Yeah.
I guess if we're going back in the time machine, the last time that we would have broadcast a game, it would have been 20 years. Coming up on 20 years at that point in time.
That's true, yeah. We were talking about our 3-year hiatus, if you will, from lacrosse. We were here in 2019, and we had the pandemic in 20, and then 21, which is, you pointed out, just a really odd scheduling situation. We ended up having to bag the idea of broadcasting last year, but we're back this year, and it's always good to, have a game like this where the weather's perfect. And again, hopefully this game in this season between Orange County and Eastern View and Culpeper County will be the beginning of certainly a very appropriate rivalry.
Well, it would be a long-standing rivalry between Culpeper County teams and Orange.
Much this one, Jeff, able to thread through traffic. He got one-on-one with the goalie right there in point-blank range, and was that Derek Brown?
That was Derek Brown with that shot. He took that in from the point, walked it right in, and was able to beat Reese Horn, who's been so solid up until this point. Brown with a very nice move to make that one happen.
Well, ordinarily you don't get that close to the goal without some interference or physical contact from the defenders, but he found the route there pretty much unimpeded And I don't care how good a goalie you are. If you get one-on-one with a scorer in close range like that, it always favors the scorer.
We've talked about that over the years. You get that one-on-one situation, you make it happen by those moves, and you just saw Derek Brown with that fancy footwork be able to slide right past the Orange defenders.
Well, Orange County scored the first 2 goals behind Thomas Payette and it was Oliver? Yeah, Wyatt Oliver. Eastern View's come back with 1 goal, or scored 2-1, Jeff. How much time do we have left?
Just ticking below 5 minutes here in the first quarter.
Orange County are looking for an opening here. Good job defensively by the Cyclones. Looks like they're in a man-to-man defense out there. And Orange County has slowed it down to try to work a play here. They'll have to keep possession. Here comes the contact. Good stick checks there by the Cyclones. They force a turnover. Can they keep it across midfield? Here comes some pressure from behind. And in traffic, he's going to lose it, at least for the moment. Now it's a scramble for it. Let's see who will come up with it.
Well, those ground ball percentages are so key, especially early in the season as you're building that confidence. We got a whistle down there. That's going to be Orange's ball.
Yeah, so we were talking about the technical fouls and the personal fouls, the distinction between the two. I want to get into sort of a refresher for us and our viewing audience about how those are distinctively different. You get into personal fouls, you're talking about being in the penalty box. Some of those penalties are non-releasable. Technical violations usually just result in a change of possession, Jeff.
You know, you see something that Chris Frazier was talking about, his midfielders really riding there and forcing that turnover.
Here comes Brown. He's looking for the man in front there. That was Weeks. Unable to get the ball to him. That would have been a good setup.
That was Donovan Elliott. I think Elliott got a stick on it and then just missed that shot. And Orange gets possession again.
2-1 our score in favor of the Hornets. They took a 2-goal lead, and then Eastern View's come back with Derek Brown, 2-1. Orange County going this way now. They'll have to slow it down as they get a better handle on the ball there. Well, they go to that X area. Now they'll go back to the perimeter. Wind up, take a shot. It's a good rip. It was wide of the cage.
And Matthew Greenfield, Cyclones goalie, had that sealed off. It wasn't getting in there.
Well, I think, you know, we knew about Greenfield coming in as a first-team all-district selection. We knew the Cyclones had a very able goalie. We learned early on that Orange County has one as well. And with both teams having really good goalies, it could make it a very close game all throughout.
And you see Nolan Nadel taking a little, I don't want to say dive there, but he maybe a little bit of an embellish mark, maybe a theater of the lacrosse field as he went flying on a little push in the back and drew the call there. And now Eastern View getting the ball back.
And they'll work their offense. I thought they were looking for Connor Weeks as a cutter across that center of the goal, but that didn't work out. Instead, he has it in that X area. Here he comes around. Will it be a wrap shot? He does get one off. He got away from the defender, and this one I think maybe hit the post. Weeks gets it back, and he winds up, takes another shot. No harm there. That was off the mark. But Eastern View keeps it, and we're back to that pressure situation as we talked about earlier, Jeff, that the Cyclones want to keep the pressure up.
Well, Mark, I've talked about how important it is to keep taking shots because you never know when it'll go in. And that first shot just came right off the pipe, and Weeks had a good look at it. And you talk about that, trying to keep the pressure on and just trying to create those opportunities.
Orange County back on offense following a technical violation. Got a substitution coming in for Orange, just number 8, Bill Lee. Here's a shot that was too high. Orange County will track it down. You know, this broadcast brought to you in part by Fountain Sons, which is more than a respected funeral home. They support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. That's Fountain Sons at 825-3530. How do you think of lacrosse and not think of Scott Found?
I was about to say my good friend Scott Found, the godfather of lacrosse in Culpeper County.
Yeah. Orange County just attempted a shot out there, not too far outside of goal. He was in good position, but it was wide. Hornets track it down. They keep it. Let's check the time, Jeff, in this first quarter. We still got the sunlight on that scoreboard. Oh, here's a shot. Right from top of the key. It's number 17, Wyatt Oliver. And he found the that bottom corner of the net. 3-1, Orange County. And that's Oliver's second goal here this first quarter.
About 1:14 remaining here in the first quarter. Man, that was a rocket coming from Wyatt Oliver right there.
Yeah, he was really in position where he was able to wind up, wasn't he, to unleash that one. And that one had the velocity on it. It's hard for a goalie to track it all the way for a save.
And he had some of his teammates down there kind of shielding, so he was able to sneak that right by Greenfield.
Back to the face-off. You know, we're live. And Nicole Wooten is back at the station. Johnny Krawchuk behind the camera. Mark O'Connell, Jeff Say with you tonight. Cyclone Stadium. This is our debut broadcast. And it's actually Eastern View's first game because last Thursday's contest against Culpeper on St. Patty's Day was a washout. We'll reschedule that. And we'll get a chance to see the two teams hopefully play each other twice. Now, all four of the teams are classified as Class 4 in lacrosse, Jeff, and we still have just the 3 classifications in the Virginia High School League of 4, 5, and 6. Here's some contact, no call. If you're near the ball or you have it and you're a lacrosse player, you know you're going to get hit. So here is Connor Weeks coming out from that contact. He was able to take a shot, not close to the goal. Looks like Eastern View will keep it. Your thoughts on that, Jeff?
I love the physicality. That's what draws me to lacrosse. It's like football, but yet it's so much more versatile.
All right, on the run and taking the shot and scoring, Donovan Elliott. And that was one that got past Reese Horn. Not much has gotten past him tonight. 3-2 our score.
With about a minute elapsed from that last Orange goal, Elliott taking that one in, getting an angle, and being able to beat Reese Horn right there.
Well, we talked about being live this year. Our live sponsor is Able Heating and Air. That's Greg and Katie Venable, the owners. And Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. All right, after the face-off, Orange County back in possession. Firing, taking a shot from long range was Thomas Payette. He was looking for goal number 2. He scored the game's first goal. 3-2 our score in favor of the visiting Hornets. We were talking about Orange being having a new program. And that's the siren that signals the end of the first quarter, doesn't it, Jeff?
It does.
And with our score,
3-2.
Orange County up 3-2. We will take a break and come back for the start of the second quarter right after this.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, featuring Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. From shirts to banners and everything in between, imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. More than just a respected funeral home, Found & Sons supports youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530.
Well, welcome back to our broadcast. We are at Cyclone Stadium. We've played one quarter so far, and our current score is Orange County 3, Eastern View 2. Mark O'Connell alongside Jeff Say. Jeff, give us a scoring summary of that first quarter.
Well, the Hornets kicked it off with a goal by Thomas Payette with 8:52 to go in the first quarter. That followed it up with another Hornet goal. Wyatt Oliver scoring just a little over a minute after his teammate to make it 2-0. Eastern View's Derek Brown cut into the deficit with the Cyclones' first goal at 5:25. Wyatt Oliver again extended the Orange lead to 2 goals as he scored with 1:14 to go. And then exactly a minute later, Donovan Elliott for the Cyclones scoring to make it 3-2. And that is where we're at coming into the second quarter mark.
Well, Jeff, let me ask you as an analyst, what, if any, advantage do you think either team has displayed here in this first quarter?
I've been impressed with the Hornets. They have played well. They've been controlled. I think the Cyclones have shown a little more intensity on the offensive side. I see what Chris Frazier is talking about, how the offense is leading the charge. I think his defense could maybe be a little more aggressive, maybe a little more physical. We've seen Orange's defense be fairly physical. I like the way the Cyclones are playing, and just so far the chips have fallen in favor of the Hornets. And nice goalie play by Reese Horn for Orange so far.
Yeah, really both goalies, Matthew Greenfield of Eastern View and Reese Horn of Orange County. I believe Evan Edwards handled that face-off for the Cyclones, but coming away with it for possession will be Orange County as we start this second quarter. We are at Cyclone Stadium. 1 quarter in the books, 3-2 our current score. Jeff has recapped the scoring. Orange County, let's see if they make any adjustments on offense here. This is a nice pass right in front of goal. And did he get it in?
Yeah.
I believe he did, yeah.
Yep.
You know, Greenfield was looking for it. It looked like he may have a partial stoppage, but I think the ball just rolled into the goal, and that was all it took.
That was a nice shot, and I thought Greenfield had that one. It just took a weird bounce and trickled in.
And did we get the number for the scorer there? I don't know that we did.
I did not catch that.
I'm going to guess it was, no, I'm not going to guess. I'm wondering if it might have been Wyatt Oliver, who wears jersey number 17. You know, he's been making some noise here in this game.
It was either him or Micah Odell. We'll check with the official score and get back with that.
All right, well, let's see what Eastern View can do here. It's first possession of the second quarter. Taking it for a shot was number 12, Andrew McCartan. And that was, again, Reese Horn making a save for the Hornets. Ball loose. Here comes some pressure. Not going to be able to pick it up. We got a whistle. It's going to work in favor of Orange County.
And that was Thomas Payette with the goal for Orange County, number 1.
Okay. So does that give him 2 for the night?
That is, he scored the first goal to start the game and then the first goal in the second quarter.
Okay. Got a little stoppage down here on the field. There's a reset.
And I'll give a hat tip to longtime voice of the Cyclones, Dave Richardson, for helping me out with that one.
Well, he's been a local icon and fixture, hasn't he?
And now a proud granddad. We were chatting with him a little bit ago. Dave's one of the good guys.
Yeah, he certainly is. Well, he had been a granddad for a while, but then his daughter, Annie, and her husband, James, had their second daughter, he said, back in September of 20?
Yep.
Does that sound right?
Yeah, it was right when the world went crazy. Annie announced, and she's a longtime Culpeper field hockey icon, and she announced she was having her second. And everybody kind of joked it was an early COVID baby.
Thomas Payette took the shot, and Matthew Greenfield turned him back with the save. Yeah. I really like the Orange County comes away with it. But somehow Greenfield was able to get possession. It rolled his way. Here comes Eastern View. Some pretty good passing there to clear that midfield stripe. On the run, taking a shot. This one deflected by Horn. Eastern View runs it down. We're in the second quarter of action. 3-2 our score. We got a whistle substitution coming in. You know, this broadcast is made possible by Cash Imprints. From shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints. 317-1473.
Mark just had a chance to do a tour of Cash Imprints last Friday. Really impressive. Sophie and Kat do a really great job up there, and got to see the equipment and work, and it was really cool to see.
And where are they located?
They are located right there on Main Street, actually right behind the UVA Imaging Center.
Well, we appreciate our generous supporters here of Cyclones and eventually Blue Devils Lacrosse when we get to see them. Eastern View's Evan Edwards passes. Connor Weeks, I believe, in the X is going to hold it until he's content with the way the offense formation looks. He comes on the wraparound, and Connor Weeks is able to put it in there for a goal. Doesn't that tie it up, Jeff, at 3-all?
It's 4-3.
4-3 Orange County?
4-3 Orange County. It was 4-2 after the Thomas Payette goal.
That's right.
And now Weeks makes it 4-3.
Well, I really think that the first quarter and the period of time we played here in the second is really going to be indicative, I think, of how this game's going to play out. I think it stands to be close from beginning to end.
They seem fairly well matched. I mean, when you look at these two teams offensively, I think maybe Eastern View is a little bit stronger, but defensively, I've been really impressed with Orange, really impressed with Reese Horn. On the other hand, Matt Greenfield has been, very steady in goal for the Cyclones. He's made some big stops, and it's just been some weird bounces that have gone the Hornets' way.
And Jeff, over the years, based on these positions and sports journalism, I've gotten to know a lot of people in Culper, but I've gotten to know a lot of people in Orange as well. And so, tonight, I met the Orange's head coach for the first time, but I've known the assistant coach, one of the assistant coaches, for a long time. And it's nice to see people like that, come up for a game like this. And again, I just hope it's going to develop into a really good rivalry. The head coach of Orange County, followed by the name of Tony Ferrone. He's originally from New York. Assistant coaches include Rich Harrington, Alan Miller, and Tom Gaith, who coaches the face-off specialist. That's the staff for the Orange County Hornets.
I've known Rich Harrington for a very long time. Real good guy.
And how have you known Rich Harrington?
Local business owner, Mid-Atlantic Securities. He enjoys playing a good round of golf.
Well, that was a bounce shot taken that Greenfield was able to corral and make the stop on, and then Connor Weeks and the Cyclones come back this way. Here's some good stick work by Connor Weeks. Weeks, nice dish, and had the player there, was it number 17, Kaiser Abed?
That was number 13. That was Derek Brown, midfielder in there.
I was going to say if Brown had corralled that pass better, he would have had an opportunity there for the shot on goal, because Connor Weeks did a nice job of finding him.
It's been a little hectic, I would say, down in front of that Orange goal.
And Orange County's Wyatt Oliver was trying to set up there in front of goal, had his back to it. They weren't able to unleash the shot they wanted. Orange County keeps it back on the move here. That's Sebastian Ramirez, a shot, and this one looks like it's going to be a save. It's in the crease area. Greenfield got his stick on it, and the ball was loose, but it was in the crease. And so, here's our first penalty flag coming in, Jeff. And let's see, I want to have you see if you can sort that one out. We may be able to get a chance to look at the official there. But I want to go back to some of these rules. When you get a personal foul, if you look for the signal, it's usually going to be a slashing. Could be a tripping, could be illegal cross-checking.
That might have been a cross-check. That might have been a cross-check. We're going to get the call right here, but that was Ethan Osborne on Orange with that hit.
Okay, and you're looking now in the penalty box. Here's the official here. 2 minutes.
2 minutes, unreleasable.
So non-releasable penalty against Ethan Osborne. He is the first player to go into the penalty box here, and that means man-up situation for the Cyclones.
Power play, if you will. I'm a hockey guy.
Yes, I know you are.
I've learned over the years you've developed somewhat of an affinity for the team called the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yes. I'm
slightly, right?
Slightly. We just bought a new home, and I painted my man cave in Penguin or Steeler black and gold, and I've got all of my Steeler jerseys and my Penguin memorabilia down there.
But the three teams they have: Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, all black and gold. Here's a shot taken. It looks like Weeks, isn't it? No, it's not. Is it? It's number 7?
It's number 7,
Donovan Elliott. Elliott got a really good look on goal there, and he was able to beat Reese Horn. We haven't said that but a couple of times, because Reese Horn has been a beast in goal. Let's check your score. What do you have now?
It is 4-4. That is the equalizer on the power play goal by Donovan Elliott, and the Cyclones taking advantage of that unreleasable penalty.
Right. So non-releasable means that even though Eastern View has scored, your player in the penalty box there, Ethan Osborne, not going to be released until he satisfies the time.
So the Cyclones are still a man up and have an opportunity to add on to this deluge of goals right now, and look forward to their first lead of the game.
And if you're Orange County and they did get the ball here on this possession, they're going to work. They're going to look to try to work that clock and get back to full strength with Ethan Osborne eventually to come out of that penalty box. Again, he's the first player to go there tonight. Now they blow the whistle to signal a restart here. And Orange County will have it at the beginning with Thomas Payette. This is Payette on the move. And back into that X area they go with number 14. Well, maybe not. No, I'm sorry, it's number 11, Sebastian Ramirez.
Nice defense by the Cyclones. Kaiser Abed, number 17, down there doing a good job of marking up.
And remember, Eastern View is up a player here. So Orange County, if they can at least work this clock and get back to full strength, they've already given up 1 goal off the power play.
And Thomas Payette doing a good job of keep away right now.
But it looks like the ball is loose, and Eastern View is going to come away with it. We've got a whistle and we've got a player down.
And there's a penalty flag. I'm not sure if that was a slash or if he took that ball in a sensitive area.
Here comes Chris Frazier and company onto the field to attend to this player. Let's see if we can pick up his number, Jeff, when we get a chance. In the meantime, let's mention our generous supporters of Cyclones Lacrosse. You know, this broadcast is brought to you in part by Battlefield Automotive, featuring Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. 547-3673. Back on his feet. Let's see if you can pick up that number, Jeff. No. Is it number 2, Evan Edwards?
That was Evan Edwards. He's, yeah, I think he took maybe a slash there. He's pointing to his midsection. Got the wind knocked out of him and rubbing himself as he's coming off the field. Chris Frazier getting the explanation from the referee. We're going to wait for the call here.
Well, if it were a slashing call, you'd have a penalty flag and another player come in that penalty box, wouldn't you? And now it looks like Ethan Osborne is going to be able to check in soon for the Hornets.
Here comes the penalty call. We're getting referee coming over and getting in position, and didn't see what that call was, but the Cyclones have the ball. And it looks like Osborne is out of the penalty box, so now it's all even again.
But tell me about Thomas Payette. Is he in the penalty box, or is he waiting to come back in the game? Let's check the number of players here. Maybe that's the key.
No, he just came in.
Okay. So it looks like both teams are now back to full strength. At least we count them.
Yep, there he is. He was tentative there for a second. He went back and seemed to be questioning where he was supposed to be.
Billy's back out in the field, as you say.
Listen, I get it after the last 2 years. Sometimes I question where I'm supposed to be.
Well, you know, it's good to be back.
It is. It is. I've certainly missed this, Mark. You know, being out on the field, watching this competition, beginning of a nice rivalry between two cross-county, fairly cross-county. Orange isn't too far away, rivals.
Well, the other thing, too, is that here's a shot and a nice save made by Orange County's Reese Horn. That was just a nicely done play and goal by Horn. He's going to keep those Hornets close.
Yeah, absolutely. He's really keeping them in it. He's made some big stops. Cyclones have had some great shots. Nice play there a minute ago by Davion Wilkerson to keep the ball in play for the Cyclones. Also, Austin Tingler down there doing a good job of trying to keep the ball in the offensive zone for Eastern View.
Well, Jeff, unless my eyes are failing me, what was that, 3:40 to play here in the second? What do you have up there?
3:50. Close
3:50.
enough.
Close enough. Okay. 3:50 in the second to play. And Orange County crossing the midfield strike. Going to look to set up here. On the run, taking the shot, number 17, Wyatt Oliver. No problem that time for Greenfield. Orange County resume possession here momentarily.
Mark, it's all about positioning. That was a nice job by Greenfield there to hustle, get back in position. He and Kaiser Abed were both running towards that ball to be able to get possession back for the Cyclones.
Well, you talked about position. How about anticipation, too? You have to have good anticipation, don't you?
It's almost like a sixth sense, and we've seen that out here. Some of the Cyclones moving to the ball, being ready for that pass.
That's Edmund Edwards dishing it off. Now they move it around. There's Connor Weeks. He was looking for an opening. Defense clamped down on him there. And the ball is loose. Weeks trying to retake possession.
Instead, he lost his stick.
It's hard to play without one, isn't it?
It's a little bit of a disadvantage.
Here's Orange County. Looking for an opening there. Defense sealed off. Now coming around, making a nice move, but losing it, at least for the moment. It's Thomas Payette. Thomas Payette. Interesting name, isn't it?
Curious if I might know some of his family. I know some folks down in Orange with the last name. Not 100% sure of his lineage. I was doing some questioning earlier. I asked Coach Frazier if Matthew Greenfield was Ken Greenfield's son. And Chris kind of looked at me and was like, I'm not sure. And then I saw Ken walking up, and I'm like, yep, that's his boy.
Probably gave you the clue, didn't
Yep.
Well, we've got a stoppage in play here. As they sort this out, wanted to tell you once more that broadcast brought to you in part by Fountain Sons, which is more than a respected funeral home. They support youth at all levels, so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Fountain Sons, 825-3530. All right, there's the whistle. Here's a restart. Orange County starts in possession. Got 2:20 to play. Second quarter action. And Orange County working its offense, coming out from the X area, turning around, taking a shot in traffic, but scoring is Sebastian Ramirez, number 11.
And he is fired up about it, and rightfully so. Really nice shot right there as he came around the goal and was able to beat Greenfield, making it 5-4 with 2:15 remaining here in the first half. Ramirez really getting that offense on his back and just taking it right in.
Well, and he had some pressure on him. He had some contact. He was there in a crowd of 2 or 3 defenders. He was able not only to keep control, but managed to unleash a shot in possession and all the way for the short goal. Nicely done. Sebastian Ramirez, Orange County, back to the face-off. See who win this one. Orange County wins this one. Coming away with it, number 8, Bill Lee. There's Lee. He's in traffic. He lost it. This one's scooped up. Eastern View's Jaylene Tanner.
And then Evan Edwards had it for a moment and lost it, and it looks like the Cyclones are going to have it again.
When you're hearing in the stand people say 5 yards, that's the 5 yards is you know, the area, the amount of area you have to give a player on a restart like that.
And I'm not sure that he got the 5 yards on the restart, but the Cyclones regain possession, and Chris Frazier calls a timeout.
Well, as the Cyclones call a timeout, we'll take a short break as well. Keep our man behind the camera. Time to regroup. Back in 30. Stay tuned.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, 547-3673. Cash Imprints, 317-1473. Found & Sons, 825-3530.
All right, well, welcome back to our broadcast. Jeff, we've got about, a minute 35 to play here in this second quarter. And the reason I'm having to ask Jeff is not only do I not see as well these days, but there's a definite glare on that scoreboard. Isn't there?
I'm at the angle that I'm able to get around that glare. And so when we're talking about angles on the field, that's something we haven't talked about, is the disadvantage when some of the players are coming down. I guess would this be the south side? They're coming down trying to score on the south side. That sun is right in their face.
Yeah.
And so it can be very difficult. I can't imagine what it's like trying to find a lacrosse ball in the air when you've got the sun glare. And don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about the sun, but it is very bright right now.
Yeah, it is. And, of course, that's going to change as the game wears on. And I guess we'll have darkness before this game's out, won't we? I'm trying to remember what the time change, if we will or not.
We're going to be pretty close. It's about 7:25, 7:30 that the sun starts to go down. And
we roughly had a 6 o'clock p.m. start, didn't we?
It was on the nose.
Okay. And
Dave Richardson made it happen.
Yeah. I'm sort of coaching people along, if you will. All right, Orange County.
I like to say herding cats.
Yeah.
I have girls.
It's always fun.
Something I'm used to.
Is it with oxymoron, herding cats? Cats don't do anything they don't want to do. I've got 3 of them. I can testify to that.
I've got 3 kids. It's very similar.
Well, I have 3 kids. The difference is mine are all grown. Yours are in the growing up process.
Oh,
But I've got 3 cats. They're all 3 distinctively different. And but no, they say dogs have owners and cats have staff.
Servants. Cats have servants.
Servant. All right, here's Connor Weeks thinking about it. Being checked there by Will Flanagan. Weeks may have lost it there for a second. Tries to get it back. Instead, Reese Horn has it, the goalie. And he'll look to clear it. That was a nice pass out there. He threw it. He had to sort of thread that one. That was in Eastern View had some pretty good position out there, but nice pass by Horn. And we got some contact. Too much contact there. And a penalty flag come in as a couple of players got tangled up there.
Nolan Natali is going to be caught for that one, I think. He's going to be coming over. Maybe you might call that a slash. It was high sticking possibly. We're waiting for the call.
Let's check the call.
And a timeout from Orange.
So Orange is taking a timeout. And the official threw the flag.
Orange.
And we'll try to check the call when we get a chance here. There's the official.
30 seconds to halftime, so don't forget to stop by the concession
30
stand.
seconds remain here. It looks like Natali is going to be in the sin bin.
Thank our athletic boosters for their support and running the concession stand.
Nolan Natali wears jersey number 22.
Flowing locks of hair.
Yeah, covers the top part of those numbers, doesn't it?
I've always been jealous of lacrosse players. They all have great hair. I mean, you go back and think of those Culpeper teams from 2006, 2007. You had Tommy Thompson.
Oh, yeah.
Had the dreads.
Tommy Thompson, that's right. Talk about a blast from the past there.
Jackson Tyler had that blonde mane.
Well, and I was talking to a friend of mine the other day about someone named Storm. He said, well, now, what kind of name is Storm? I said, you know what? Storm makes a good lacrosse name. Didn't we have a player?
Storm Askew.
Was that who it was?
Yep, Storm Askew and Zane Askew played for the Blue Devils.
That's right. And wasn't there a Storm Davis somewhere in the sports world?
There was a Storm Davis in the sports world. I'm not sure what sport.
Hey, there's a catch and quick release taken by Orange County's, I believe it was number 10, Jairo Hernandez. It was wide of the mark, but was well conceived. They were able to get it down to Ramirez, or Hernandez rather, out in front of goal. He missed an opportunity there for Orange County. But they get it back. Here's the shot. This one deflected, broken up by the defenders. And now we'll have a ground ball here to see who comes away with it. So far it's Eastern View. But there is a siren that signals the end of the second quarter, although let's see if it's going to be official yet. Yep, both teams will be headed to the locker rooms. So we've played 2 quarters here, Jeff, and our current score is what, 5-4 Orange County?
Hornets lead 5-4.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break for the halftime and keep it right here, and we'll come back for third quarter action after the break. Stay tuned.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, featuring Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. From shirts to banners and everything in between, imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. More than just a respected funeral home, Found & Sons supports youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530.
All right, well, welcome back to our broadcast. We are set to start the third quarter here at Cyclone Stadium. Culver Media Network bringing you all the exciting action. We are live tonight. Mark O'Connell, Jeff Say, Johnny Krawchuk here at the stadium. Nicole Wooten back in the studio. We start this third quarter, Jeff Say. Orange County slim lead, 5-4. But we talked about how evenly matched these two teams were tonight and how we sort of expected to be close from start to finish.
Well, one thing we know from Eastern View's games last year, they're all close. And they lost 4 games in the span of a goal or 2, maybe 3, and that's just been their crutch so far, as they have not been able to get over that hump. So right now, trailing 5-4 here to start the third quarter. Cyclones and Chris Frazier trying to find an answer to that.
And working his way for a shot, he sidestepped one defender. A little delay on the shot to freeze the goalie. And then taking the shot for a goal, Thomas Payette.
That is his hat trick here tonight. His third goal already. He had the goal to start the game, the goal to start the second quarter, goal to start the third quarter.
Let me know if you see any obvious changes from both teams as we start this third quarter, because you know the coaches, they saw some things in that first half, and I'm sure they're trying to make some adjustments and try to tweak some things. We'll see if we find any noticeable changes here in this third quarter. Eastern View, or Orange County rather, back on the move again. But as Eastern View's defense gets back in position, Orange County will slow it down and work its offense. This is a short pass that will result in the scramble for a loose ball. Now we're in traffic. We'll see who comes away with it. Sometimes they have it for a second, they lose it, and have to regain it and fight for possession once more. Orange County does come away with it.
Those ground balls are always so huge, Mark. And it's really about just grinding and trying to get in there and win that possession.
Turning around and taking a shot, no problem that time for Greenfield. This one was a bounce shot, but it was wide of the mark. Didn't have a lot of pace on it. Orange County tracks it down. They stay in possession. You've got 6-4 in favor of Orange County.
6-4 in favor of Orange County. Thomas Payette with 3 goals for the Hornets. Wyatt Oliver with 2, and Sebastian Ramirez adding the other.
Thomas Payette is really, the offense tends to run through him, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's certainly been the leader out there so far for the Hornets. And we talked about how uncannily he's had the first goal at the start of each quarter.
But it's also Wyatt Oliver. He took the shot, Greenfield to save. Eastern View had it, turned it back over. Orange County, here's a big rip from Micah Odell. And that was wide of the intended target.
Again, hustle by Greenfield. You're seeing him being able to get in position, get back there, and get possession back for the Cyclones. That's so huge on a big shot like that.
Absolutely. You talked about positioning, how important that is. Anticipation. Sometimes you just have to guess right.
And then speed, as we see Natali moving up the field here. A couple of nifty moves, getting the offense going for the Cyclones.
Nice pass. This one a little bit there in traffic, broken up by the defender, Will Flanagan. Eastern View inbounds it here. Flanagan going to work on defense for the Hornets, trying to jar it loose. It is loose. And coming away with it is Flanagan.
Mark, one thing I noticed, Derek Brown, midfielder for the Cyclones, who's kind of been the catalyst on offense, holding his arm there. I don't know if he took an errant stick.
Well, here's an opportunity here. Turned back by Reese Horn. Nice job out there. It looked like, was it number 12 for Eastern View who had that shot? No, it wasn't. It was number 7, Donovan Elliott.
Yeah, Elliott had the first shot, and then Derek Brown had the second shot.
Well, Reese Horn doing a good job. We mentioned him. And Matt Greenfield in goal. Both these teams' goalies playing tonight very well, keeping it close. 6-4 our score currently. It was 5-4 at the halftime. We've got 8 minutes, 30 seconds play here in this third quarter. Again, this is a debut game for us and for Eastern View. They were scheduled to play last Thursday on St. Patrick's Day against crosstown rival Culpeper. That game was rained out. They'll reschedule that one. And we always look forward to those matchups between the two teams in the county. And again, we talked about Orange County. Young program came into existence, I believe, in 2019. And then we had the COVID year in 20, and then last year they had their first. There's a big hit, but I think, well, here is the penalty flag coming in. Was there anything illegal about that hit, Jeff?
Obviously there was.
Or did it come after that?
No, that was a delayed penalty there. He took that hit, and then the ref was trying to get his flag out. Yep.
I'm wondering if this might be an illegal body check. 1 minute. It's going to be against Seth Wheelbanks, number 13. He's the second Orange County Hornet player to go into the penalty box.
Sounded like this one was releasable. The first one was non-releasable.
Right. So a big part of these penalties, this one sounded like it hit the iron.
It did.
Yeah.
That's the second shot that the Cyclones have had that have pinged off the bar.
And that's exactly the word I wanted to use. In onomatopoeia form, Jeff. Ping. That was the sound it made, wasn't it?
Pinged off the post.
Yeah, pinged off the post. You got a little alliteration to go along with the onomatopoeia. I always did like English classes.
That's why we're journalists. Or
history.
Former journalists. And an author. I want to point that out, Mark.
Well, Jeff,
you've had a couple books come out.
A lot of people in Culpeper know you as your association with different things, including journalism and Chamber of Commerce. We got some events happening around here in Culpeper. Not that you would know about any of them.
All right, so let's clue folks in. For those who might not know, I changed careers in the middle of the pandemic.
All right, and we'll get back to that. Taking the shot there a moment ago was Derek Brown, turned away by Reese Horn. Ball out of bounds. Eastern View brings it back in.
I left the newspaper industry, Mark, in February of 2020 and took on a position as president and CEO of the Culpeper Chamber of Commerce and have been there ever since. But about a month after I started, we decided to have a pandemic, and it has been an adventure. What a goal.
Yeah, this one was Connor Weeks, it looked like, was able to get it down low to
Natali.
Yeah, Nolan Natali. And it's a 6-5 game with 6:49 to play. here in the third quarter. Well, maybe our prediction's going to come true, that this will be a close game from beginning to end. Certainly looks that way now as we approach the midway point of the third quarter. 6-5, Orange County.
What a goal by Natali. You mentioned that was Connor Weeks cutting in and then be passed over to Natali. And Natali then almost just a little push, just being able to finesse it past Reese Horn, who has been very solid at goals. So is Matt Greenfield for the Cyclones. Yeah, this is a really close one. You see two evenly matched organizations be able to put together a game like this.
Right.
In the first game of the year for the Cyclones, really exciting to see.
Well, Orange County there on the break, it looked like they had an opportunity there in front of goal. Pass was behind the intended receiver, but Orange County keeps possession. I was going to say, you mentioned that little push shot. Sometimes it's more about finesse. I mean, it's one thing to be 15 yards out, winding up, cranking one with the velocity on it. But sometimes when you're down low like that, it's just going to be pushing the ball where the goalie isn't. So it's more about space than pace.
Positioning again.
Yeah, back to positioning. Turning around, taking a shot. This one hit the post, and now it's anyone's ball. So Orange County coming back, and here's a shot taken, and that looks like Thomas Payette, and that's the hat trick +1 if it's Payette. And it is, isn't it? Number 1, there he is.
That is Payette. A flurry of activity in front of Greenfield, and Payette getting a rebound or a ground ball bouncing up there and be able to get it past the Cyclone goalie. Orange keeping on the heat.
Yeah, they are. They had a couple opportunities. We had that one ball hit the post, and they just kept pressing. Well, we told you that we are live, and our live sponsor this year is Able Heating and Air, and answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air at 718-75-56. Orange County won the face-off. Coming back trying to work the offense, losing it in traffic, and now it's a ground ball, and let's see who will come away with it. And it's going to be Eastern View's Aiden Stein. Here's Weeks making a move in traffic. Holds on to it. Looks for a teammate. Got one. And right there in front of goal, taking the shot, is number 13, Derek Brown. He scores. You got to give the assist to Connor Weeks as well. That was well conceived.
That is teamwork right there, Mark. That is textbook. Connor Weeks slashing it through, doing a nice job to be able to spin away from defenders, creating space, but that opens up an opportunity for Derek Brown to come right down the middle, take that pass from Connor Weeks, and score against Reese Horn. Nice execution, just as the Cyclones had drove it up.
Absolutely. And now we're at, what, 7-6 in favor of Orange County. Again, closely contested game. Two teams very evenly matched. Both teams having their opportunities on offense. Here's a push there at the end by Connor Weeks. And it doesn't result in anything.
Mark, we talked about momentum early on. Neither team has really been able to get true momentum. It's been back and forth. A team will score, somebody will come right back and score. There hasn't been a lead more than 2 so far in this game.
Right, it's almost as if to say that if you score, it sort of inspires the other team to come back and score to answer. And when that's happening, like you say, you're not developing a lead of any proportion. Here's Reese Horn gathering up this loose ball. His clear is going to be intercepted. And this is Evan Edwards. Edwards in traffic, falls down. Penalty flag comes in as well.
I don't know if he fell down or if he was hornswoggled down there.
What verb did you just use?
Hornswoggle.
That's an interesting one. Has that been around for a while? Should I know it?
I guess that's a Pittsburgh term. Kind of like pucker snatch.
Yeah. Is that what you and say up there?
That's what yin. that's what yins say. Yins.
Yeah.
It's not y'all. It's yins.
Yeah. And it's not soda. It's pop, right?
That's true.
Well, the differences in the culture too, it makes it sort of interesting when you have different names for different things, right?
And I'm not sure if I may have just made that one up.
Well, you certainly sold it. I mean, very convincing. Kind of like when you had good command on. Well, we're going to have a player go in the penalty box, I'm certain. It's going to be Orange County's number 17, and that is Wyatt Oliver.
Let's go with more conventional hogtied. He was wrapped up there. That was number 2. Evan Edwards was coming in, and he got into traffic. You saw his head whip back as he got a stick up underneath his mask.
Well, they're going to have an advantage. Well, Eastern View, a man up here with Wyatt Oliver in the penalty box for Orange County. Clock stopped, of course. 4:47 to play here in the third quarter. 7-6 our score in favor of the Hornets. They did open up a 2-goal lead, and that's been the biggest lead of the game, hasn't it?
2-goal lead was the biggest lead of the game. Wyatt Oliver gave the Hornets a 3-1 lead early in the first quarter, and then it was 7-5 here in the third on a Thomas Payette goal, but it has not been any more than that. We're looking at Wyatt Oliver in the sin bin, in the penalty box. It'll be a power play situation for the Cyclones when we have the whistle blown. Might be 2 players are in the penalty box here. And that's number 13, Seth Wilbanks, and number 17, Wyatt Oliver. So it's a 2-man advantage for the Cyclones.
And really, they know they have to take advantage of this. Let's see how they work things here. Derek Brown gets it started. Connor Weeks back to Brown. Ball gets behind him. Eastern View will track it down. It's Donovan Elliott. Here's Elliott looking for Weeks right in front of goal. It was going to be a catch and shoot. Unable to convert, but that was a nicely designed play to get Weeks moving right in front of goal, and they found him, just unable to convert.
Weeks went airborne, and that ended up in the airspace of Reese Horn, and that led to Orange getting possession.
Orange coming back this way. Up a goal, 7-6, 4:15, clock ticking, third quarter action. Hornets by 1. They've slowed it down here to resettle and work an offensive play. But they are down, what, 2 men still?
1 man.
1 man, so they want to work this clock and get back to full strength. They don't want to turn it over and give Eastern View that man-up opportunity on offense. And you can see, it looks like number 17, that's Wyatt Oliver. He's back on the field, so the Hornets back to full strength and a whistle. All right, I'll tell you, this broadcast is brought to you in part by Battlefield Automotive, featuring Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. 547-3673. Here in the third quarter we are. 3:33, clock ticking. 7-6 Hornets. Eastern View coming back this way. Number 17 is Kaiser Abed. Trying to get a handle, ball up in the air. And this is going to be a technical violation against Eastern View. Ball to Orange County, they'll restart it. Remember, the defender has to give him 5 yards. He does. So getting it going here is Wyatt Oliver. If you're Orange County, Jeff, do you take your time here? Do you work the clock? Do you try to get a quick shot?
If I'm Orange County, I'm working my offense. I'm trying to find the right shot. Not a quick shot, but I'm trying to set it up, get somebody in that X position, get some movement. And we've seen when Orange gets a little bit of chaos in front of that net, they're able to capitalize.
Here they come. Here's a run toward the net and a goal. Wow. How did he beat Greenfield? I believe that was number 11. It was number 11. That's Sebastian Ramirez.
Number 11,
Jeff, I think that's his second goal tonight.
It was, and that one I had trouble seeing, and so did Matt Greenfield. That one slipped right by him, but that was just a nice angle by Ramirez as he was coming off the right side and was able to slip that one through.
And he did slip through the defense, too, to get there. And again, you go back to that one-on-one situation. I mean, if you're the goalie, it certainly favors the shooter, and that's where we're going back to footwork, positioning, as you pointed out. Anticipation, sometimes you just got to guess where they're going. And you guess right, and sometimes you guess wrong. But you don't really have a lot of time there to react, do you?
It's almost a 50-50, but even then, you know, when you guess right, you know, good things happen.
That's right. Well, you know, this broadcast is brought to you in part by Fountain Sons, which is more than a respected funeral home. They support youth at all levels, so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Fountain Sons at 825-3530. We're in the third quarter here, down to 2:20 and counting. Eastern View's Aiden Steins had it, lost it, ball on the ground. They'll fight for it. Thomas Payette trying to come away with it, and he does for the Hornets. What we have him a hat trick +1 so far?
Yeah, 4 goals for Payette here so far, almost end of the third quarter.
Micah Odell checks in for the Hornets. Ethan Osborne in that X area. And they're getting it to Thomas Payette. Backer from around the goal for the wraparound. Greenfield couldn't find it, but he's got the stop. Now he'll look for a teammate. We'll get about midway down the field. Ball up in the air, anyone's possession. Let's see who can come up with it. Connor Weeks was near the sidelines with traffic, and it looks like they give it to Orange County. Back to our supporters of Cyclones Lacrosse. This broadcast brought to you in part by Cash Imprints, from shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints. 317-1473. Oh, we got a penalty flag down, Jeff. I didn't see what happened there. I was looking away from the play at the moment.
I'm waiting to see what the call is. It's not sure who it's on. I don't know if it's on Eastern View or Orange. There was a little bit of jostling going on down there between both teams, so we'll get the call.
Is that slashing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's going to be against Eastern View then, isn't it?
It is. That's on Kaiser Abed. He's coming to the penalty box.
That's number 17, Kaiser Abed. You're right, in the penalty box. Man up opportunity now for the Hornets. And you've got 8-6?
8-6.
So a 2-goal lead. And so now the Hornets in position to build their biggest lead of the game if they can convert here. Man up. Here's a shot. This was cranked out there on the perimeter. Hit the defenders. They stop it. Eastern View tries to come away with it. This pass goes out of bounds. It'll be ball back to Orange County. Still with number 17, Kaiser Abed of Eastern View in the penalty box.
And that was a nice play by Carson Murray, trying to make that happen, almost a ballet move, trying to push that ball along to Connor Weeks.
Micah Odell starts the offense. Pass behind his teammate. Ball got away. Looks like Eastern View's come away with it. And they get the ball down to Donovan Elliott. And on the perimeter out there. Couldn't see who it was. This is back to Elliott, isn't it? And keeps going out. It is Elliott. Hey, how about that? Not only are you down a player, but you end up scoring yourselves.
What a nice play there by Donovan Elliott. Passed it over to Joshua Hott. Hott had a little trouble with it. Then he got it back to Elliott, who was able to come around the side and fire off a really quick wrist shot right there. 11.9 seconds to go, and the Cyclones once again get within 1 goal, 8-7, cutting into Orange's lead.
And again, they did it a man down with Kaiser Abed still in the penalty box. Obviously a non-releasable penalty, right?
Yeah, Abed is still in the sin bin, so Cyclones are still a man down for the time being. That was a slash, so that is a non-releasable penalty.
Final 5 seconds will tick off here. We got a whistle and we got stoppage. Some of the fans wanted to know why they were stopping the play. We didn't have an answer for them. I'm not sure why either.
Referee, I think that might have been referee stoppage. They're conferring down here. Eastern View's Chris Frazier is also asking for an explanation on that one, though it's going to work in his favor.
Well, on the scoreboard clock shows 7.6 seconds to play here in the third. 8-7 our score. Here's another whistle.
And now the referees are explaining to Orange what's going on. We're gonna have another conference. I don't know if that was a warning. The referees having an ongoing discussion with the Orange sideline.
7.6 seconds. They're going to readjust the clock to 7.6 seconds.
That's what was the initial whistle was 7.6 seconds. They started with about 11 seconds. Now we have 76 minutes on the clock, so
It's going to be a long quarter, Jeff. All right, give him a break here.
Yeah.
We got to readjust that. That's not an easy thing to do.
there we go.
They wanted 7.6, I think.
Looks like we're going to get the whistle to get going here.
Will Orange County get another shot off before the siren blows? They do get a shot off, but Greenfield's there for the save. Turning around and making the shot on goal was Micah Odell, but Greenfield turns him back. Our score 8-7 at the end of the third quarter. We will take a break and come back for the fourth quarter right after this.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, featuring Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. From shirts to banners and everything in between, imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. More than just a respected funeral home, Found & Sons supports youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530.
All right, well, welcome back to our broadcast. We are at Cyclone Stadium, set to start the fourth quarter here in this lacrosse game between the visiting Fighting Hornets of Orange County and the Cyclones. Jeff, we talked about it being a close game, particularly from beginning to end, and we start the fourth quarter, it's 8-7, and it's been close really the whole way.
Yeah, in the third quarter, Thomas Payette started the scoring for the Hornets. It was 5-4 coming in the third quarter, and then Payette scored, made it 6-4. Nolan Natali for the Cyclones cut into that lead, made it 6-5. Payette again made it 7-5 for the Hornets. Derek Brown again brought the Cyclones within one, made it 7-6. Sebastian Ramirez with a goal for Orange made it 8-6, and then we just saw Elliott with a goal for the Cyclones. Donovan Elliott scoring with 11 seconds remaining, making it 8-7 right now. And Mark, if there's been any indication, if there is a coincidence, it's that Thomas Payette will score to start the fourth quarter, as he scored to start the first, the second, and the third quarters.
Could very well be. Well, off that face-off, it was Bill Lee of Orange County, Evan Edwards of Eastern View. Orange County will start the fourth quarter on offense.
Both teams scoring 3 times in that third quarter.
Orange County trying to set up there in front of goal, trying to get it to Bill Lee. And then the pass goes out of bounds, and I'll turn it over to the Cyclones. Aiden Steins has it. Upfield he goes. That was thrown in traffic, running it down, keeping it in play. Eastern View's number 10, Austin Tingler. Ball loose again. Both teams will vie for possession. Opening minute here this fourth quarter again. It's been close from the beginning. 8-7 in favor of the Hornets. Two teams closely matched. Orange County coming back this way, trying to set up the offense. Greenfield has it for the Cyclones. Ball got loose. He trapped it. He'll look for a teammate. This one nearly picked off, and it is picked off. Turning around and scoring is number 4, Will Flanagan. As
Nope, that's Payette.
was it Payette?
Goal
you sure?
for
It
the
is.
Hornets, Thomas Payette.
Oh, it is Thomas Payette. I thought it was number 4, Will Flanagan. So Payette has hat trick +2.
And
What did you say about opening?
he opened the fourth quarter with a goal.
Yeah.
Just as I said, if there was anything such as a coincidence, he started the first, the second, the third, and now the fourth. Is that poetic?
Well, it's more like prophetic, because you called it in the beginning. So he's probably going to score in the fourth. Started. Here I had the ball going to the goal to Flanagan, but it was Payette. Wow, that's newsworthy.
That would be the lead.
Yeah, exactly. If you were writing the story, as you would have in the past.
In the media parlance, if you will.
And that's something. Wow. It's almost like that was. It was almost like it was scripted.
Yeah.
But in any event, Orange County goes back to its 2-goal lead. They've never had more than a 2-goal lead. And typically what's happened is, of course, Eastern View responds with a goal of its own. If you were following the logical, or not the logical, but necessarily the things that have happened in this game, who's going to score for Eastern View if you follow the pattern in the game here?
I'm going to say it's Weeks.
Okay. Would it be Weeks or Brown? Right now, Brown has it. Here's Brown making a move. He's behind goal. Dish it out there. I believe this is Weeks. Yeah, it is Weeks. They slow it down. Approaching the 10-minute mark here in this fourth quarter. 9-7. Hornets. Let's see who can respond here for the Cyclones. Yep, right now, Weeks comes off a pick. Here he comes across the center, in traffic, weaving his way. Going to dish it off to his teammate. Here's a shot. And this one, Horn able to turn back.
Well-designed play right there. Weeks playing the long game, stringing that one out, bringing some defenders with him, getting off quick pass, and Horn with nice defense be able to kick that one away.
Eastern View retains possession. May slow it down. We go back up top here. This is Derek Brown. Ball loose. Coming back up, getting possession of it was Austin Tingler. Shot taken. Out of bounds it goes. Eastern View retrieves it. Coach Frazier making a substitution here. Evan Edwards comes back into the game for the Cyclones. Clock continues to run, 9:15 and counting. Fourth quarter action, Cyclone Stadium, 9-7 in favor of the Hornets. They let them play on here. Now we have a whistle. And it's going to be a technical foul against Eastern View.
That's against Tingler. He had a pick right there, and then he held up the orange player as Weeks was trying to make his way by.
So illegal pick. Orange County has crossed the midfield strike. Back on offense they go. Winding up, cranking it from downtown was number 17, Wyatt Oliver. And Oliver has beaten Matt Greenfield. And now the Hornets up 10-7, Jeff. 3-goal lead, their largest of the game.
And that was Oliver's third goal of the game. He had 2 in the first quarter, now 1 in the fourth quarter, and he just used pure muscle on that one. Put some mustard on that shot.
Well, they got a little off script, didn't they? I mean, the whole thing has been you don't get more than 2-goal advantage over your opponent. They come back. That didn't happen. So the fourth quarter not playing out the way the first 3 quarters did, as the Hornets have built their biggest lead of the game. So right now, 3 goals. And plenty of time here, of course, for the Cyclones. 8:48 to play in the fourth. But Orange County back on offense here. Here's this one in traffic. They're going to roll it over to Greenfield. Let him take possession. Make his outlet pass there. It's a good one. losing it, at least momentarily. Jolene Tanner.
Gavin Utley, that's the first time we've called his name really all night. He gets possession of that ball, and then Chris Frazier and the Cyclones call a timeout to hash this one out.
Well, we talked about being live, and we are live.
Timeout.
Nicole
Cyclones.
Wooten, thank you, back in the studio for the hard work you're doing. Johnny Krawchuk behind the
Yeah, the
camera.
girls'
Jeff Say, the
lacrosse
analyst.
team will be here
Yours
Friday
truly,
night.
Mark O'Connell. I got to tell you, our live sponsor is Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air at 718-7556. We're in the fourth quarter, 8:15 to play, and this broadcast also brought to you in part by Found & Sons, which is more than a respected funeral home. They support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. Well, Jeff, what do you think? This fourth quarter, a little off script, we said, with the Hornets building their biggest lead of the game, 3-goal advantage now. But a lot of time left, and, you know, Chris Frazier, he's been around lacrosse for a long time. You got to figure they're going to make a couple of adjustments.
Absolutely. You mentioned them being off script, but the script started out the same way in the fourth quarter as it has in the first three. Thomas Payette scoring for the Hornets, making it 9-7, and then Wyatt Oliver giving them a little bit of breathing room. The biggest lead of the game so far, 10-7, 3-goal lead. The Cyclones, I think they're doing a really good job, Mark. I mean, they're pushing the ball offensively, defensively. You know, Matt Greenfield's keeping them in the game, and they're just got to be able to get some offensive plays together. They've had shots on goal. I've been really impressed with Reese Horn, goalie for the Hornets. He's done a really good job of keeping the Cyclones at bay.
Well, really, he has. I mean, both goalies doing a good job tonight for their teams. Losing it. It was Derek Brown of Eastern View. And Orange County will inbound it, go back on offense, try to stretch the field here. You know, as the clock ticks down, it starts to become an ally to Orange County. This is a long-range pass downfield that was caught. Nicely done. Will Flanagan, number 4. He lost it for the moment. Ball is loose. Orange County's going to track it down and keep possession. And now we've got a whistle and technical violation against Orange County. Ball goes back to Eastern View. Now turning around with it. And how did he get the ball back, Jeff?
So that was an errant pass. It was going for Greenfield, and Wyatt Oliver picked it off in one fell swoop, did a little pirouette, and was able to get it in the net right past Greenfield. That was a pass that was headed to the Eastern View goalie. Oliver just picked it out of midair and then turned that into a goal.
Yeah, last I saw, the ball was back to Eastern View, and then it was out of my viewing range here with where I'm located. Next thing I know, you've got Wyatt Oliver in front of goal with it, and just, you know, no chance for Greenfield to stop it. But more importantly, now you've got a full 4-goal lead for Orange County. Biggest lead of the game. And the clock will start to become its ally. And of course, the enemy of Eastern View, this clock starts to tick down. They need a goal really soon.
Well, we're starting to see the Cyclones make some turnovers here. And we see them not be able to control the ball. And when Orange, as you said, the clock is Orange's ally right now. And Orange is doing a good job of setting up their offense, trying to find their shots, and playing really solid.
So we have mentioned, we've singled them out several times, the goalies for both teams. Matt Greenfield of Eastern View, Reese Horn of Orange County. But you've also, you know, Thomas Payette has really stood out tonight for the Hornets. Who else, Jeff, really jumps out at you tonight is having a good game for either team?
Wyatt Oliver stands out for me. He's been playing really well. You mentioned Payette, but Oliver has really stepped up for the Hornets as well. Connor Weeks and Brown. Derek Brown for the Cyclones are really standing out to me offensively. Brown has really made some things happen. Weeks with his speed and be able to cut through the defense. Those two have stood out to me offensively. Now they really need to step it up for the Cyclones.
And what about Donovan Elliott?
Yeah, Donovan Elliott has jumped out to me a couple of times on defense. Kaiser Abed has done a really nice job for the Cyclones, and obviously Greenfield in goal has kept them in this game. But the Cyclones offensively just have, especially in this quarter, haven't been able to get it going. You know, the Hornets are closing out the game. They've had 3 goals in the fourth quarter, and the Cyclones have 0. So in the third quarter it was even. It was 3-3. Cyclones held there with them, but Payette, you know, getting that early goal here in the fourth has really set the tone for the Hornets.
This has been quite a delay in the action right here, but there may be a penalty being assessed against Eastern. Let's check it out. No, maybe not.
When we talked about herding cats earlier, it seems to be the referees are doing just that now and adjusting some things, and it looks like we actually have Oliver. Wyatt Oliver is in the penalty box for the Hornets, so it's a man-up advantage for Eastern View with 6:45 remaining.
So Eastern View, good position here if they can capitalize. Winding up, cranking it, top of the key. That looked like number 7, Donovan Elliott. Cranked it up, found the net. Just what you said, Jeff. They were in a man-up situation. Had to take advantage of it. To close it now to within 3. He made that one look easy.
Well, you were prophetic there a moment ago, and I was rattling off Eastern View players that I've been impressed with. You say Donovan Elliott, and then he responds with a goal. And Elliott dialing it up there, as you said, from top of the key and going top shelf against the goalie for the Hornets, Reese Horn.
Who's played well, but you're not going to stop every shot, whether you're Greenfield or Horn.
Well, the Cyclones have got to get something together here, Mark, and they get possession. And you've got to string together some goals. They really haven't been able to do that yet. You know, they've fought back, and they've stayed even pretty much with the Hornets. They've got to string some goals together here.
And this is Donovan Elliott. Lost it, got it back. Across the field he goes. Here is Weeks. Winding up, hits the post. Ball loose. Eastern View tracks it down. Might have heard a ping again as it hit that post. Here's a penalty flag coming in as looks like Weeks has gone back to work here for Eastern.
We've had a plethora of pings tonight, Mark.
Good shot. This one saved by Horn. Caught up in the air by a defender. Well, the penalty flag is down, and I guess they're going to assess it now. Well, Eastern View certainly putting some pressure out there, trying to find the net. 11-8 our score, 5:42 to play in the fourth.
Will Flanagan for the Hornets coming to the penalty box.
It's a slashing penalty.
Slashing, 1 minute.
Will Flanagan. He's played good defensively for Hornets tonight.
The Hornets have been physical. That's the one thing of their defense that stood out to me. They've done a really good job of keeping Eastern View off the ball. They've been riding them. They've been pestering them the entire game. You know, some clean hits and really just separating them from the ball.
Officials confer. Again, we're in the fourth quarter. 11-8 our score, 5:42 to play. This broadcast brought to you in part by Cash Imprints. From shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints. 317-1473.
So the refs were getting that call right. That was Seth Wilbanks that's in the penalty box for the Hornets. So Will Flanagan was exonerated, and he's back on the field.
Good turn. Still down a man as Reese Horn makes a deflection save for the Hornets. And again, Eastern View in that man-up opportunity, hoping to convert here. We're approaching the 5-minute mark. Cranking it up, taking a shot, and a save once more by Horn. Well, you talk about keeping your team in it. How many shots has he turned back? We're not keeping track of it tonight, but what a difference it's made. I think the score is 11-8.
And now a scramble here as Cyclones are trying to get possession and try to get some momentum going their way. And Horn has just been doing a really good job of answering the bell.
And Seth Wilbanks in the penalty box, hoping to get back on the field soon. His teammate sling it downfield. That puts the distance between the ball and the Hornet goal. Now the Hornets back on offense here, at least for the moment.
Mark, if I'm Orange County, I'm trying to hang on to the ball a little bit here. Spread out the offense, slow it down. The clock is your ally. You don't want to rush it. You know, if you're able to get a good shot, take it. But, you know, really try to milk it here.
Yeah, and they're back to full strength too. 4 minutes to play here in the fourth. Here comes Eastern View off the turnover. Nice work there, giving chase. Connor Weeks. Now we got Seth Wilbanks back in there for the Hornets fighting defensively. Ball is still loose. Let's see who's going to come up with it. Well, it looks like Wilbanks was able to kick it. But Eastern View comes away with it, at least for the moment. 3:30, clock ticking, fourth quarter, 11-8 Hornets. This is Connor Weeks. Going to operate from the X position. Back onto the field, Davian Wilkerson for Eastern View.
And down on the sidelines, looks like Chris Frazier's trying to get some calm heads under order of the Cyclones. There's some players that are a little upset, and rightfully so. They're frustrated. They want to get close. Nice shot.
Well, this was Connor Weeks. He started in that X position, Jeff, came around goal. Was he going to look for a player to pass it off? Not when you can work your way in with some wiggle room and take a shot. And he found the lower corner of that net to beat Horn, which hasn't come easy tonight. Makes it 11-9. So obviously, Cyclones back in contention here, down 2 goals. Still plenty of time if you play your cards smart.
Absolutely. I mean, there's 3:07 remaining. We saw Weeks just score. They've got back-to-back goals. Elliott had scored there just about 3 minutes prior, so they've got to put some more pressure on. You know, Weeks has really been offensively the leader. He's going to have to put his team on his back and try to create some opportunities.
And Orange County inserts Jose Saldival on defense, hoping to get some minutes from him to turn back any Eastern View threat, give some assistance out there to goalie Reese Horn. Clock stop, 3:02 to play.
And Mark, the Cyclones are just looking for anything right now. Try to get possession of the ball, hang on to it, move well, and move without the ball and create some opportunities.
Derek Brown's number 13. Brown on the move. Ball got loose. I believe that was a shot, but he just wasn't able to unleash it the way he wanted to.
I wasn't sure if that was a shot or if he was trying to find Davion Wilkerson, who was over on the corner of the goal. That would have been a well-designed play if Wilkerson was able to come up with it, but that pass was a little awry.
This one goes out of bounds, speaking of passes. Turns the ball back over to the Hornets. 2:30 to play. Fourth quarter action. 11-9. Orange County on top.
And if you're the Cyclones, and you're a team that the past couple years, you haven't been able to get that hump, you've lost by a goal or two, and you're in the same situation, is that in the back of your head? As a young man, you're thinking, is this happening again?
Well, this is a push in the back there. And they're bringing a penalty flag.
Again, another late flag. We've had a few of those tonight.
Yeah.
I think that was, I mean, if it's against Orange County, I think that's, yep, that is a push in the back against Orange.
We'll probably call it.
Yep, they've already signaled it. Waiting to see if that looks like that's Thomas Payette. He's coming to the penalty box, so that's going to be a power play opportunity for the Cyclones.
That's probably going to be ruled an illegal stick check, don't you think? Body check?
It looked like it.
Yep. With the stick.
Yep, it was an illegal body check is how they signaled it there at the end.
So now Orange County has hurt themselves by that penalty. You've got Thomas Payette in the penalty box. As you pointed out, man-up opportunity for the Cyclones. They only trail by 2. And you've got 2:15, so you got to work the clock smart. Take a good shot. Top of the key, this is Donovan Elliott. And he scores, makes it a 1-goal game with 2:09 to play. They did work that shot, didn't they? You got a good look at it.
It was perfect. They did a nice job of passing the ball, finding Donovan Elliott, who had a wide open shot at the top of the key. He had a nice sidearm shot, was able to get it right past Horn. Beautiful play designed by Eastern View. And 11-10, here they are battling right back.
Really set up, Jeff, by that miscue by the Hornets for that penalty that put them a man down. That was a mistake on the Hornets'
And I'd like
part.
to thank Will Flynn and his parents for helping me
They
spot
put
tonight.
the Cyclones
Appreciate it.
in an advantageous
Makes life
situation.
easier.
They were able to capitalize on it. 2:09 to play, plenty of time. Look at a time I don't feel. All right. 2:09 to play, fourth quarter. Chance to mention our sponsors again. This broadcast brought to you in part by Found & Sons, which is more than a respected funeral home. They support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. And we mentioned that we are live. Our live sponsor is Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There really is peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Well, Mark O'Connell, Jeff Say, Johnny Krawchuk with you tonight, Cyclone Stadium. We are getting down toward the end of the game. Final 2 minutes and 9 seconds to play, and it's a 1-goal game. Jeff, I expect both teams to really go all out here.
2 minutes, 9 seconds in lacrosse, Mark, we have seen be an eternity.
Yeah.
We've seen 5 goals scored in 2 minutes. I remember specifically one game years ago between Eastern View and Culpeper, and it was just back and forth. It was just a track meet up and down the field in the final 2 minutes. And it was, I get that vibe here. I'm just looking for Eastern View to get possession, as they do, and just go down and really put it on the Hornets here.
All right, here is Eastern View on offense. Coming around to that X area is Evan Edwards. Here's Edwards. This pass gets away from Weeks, but he soon corrals it. He'll come back to the center of the field. He's being picked up. On the move here is Weeks. Nice dodge, but he lost it. Let's see who comes up with it. It's going to be Eastern View's Fabian Wilkerson. But the clock is running, 1:25 to go and counting. 11-10 our score in favor of the Hornets. 1 goal will tie it. On the move, straight ahead. It's like Reese Horn was able to get a piece of it, or not.
I don't think it made it through to Horn.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that was defenders blocked that shot.
Yeah. Well, the Cyclones are certainly pressing it here. They've got time. 1:12, down a goal.
It's that fine line, Mark, of being able to try to rush, because you want to be able to score, but at the same time you want to be able to set up your goal, and you've got a minute left. There's this patience that comes along with the game.
Yeah, Will Flanagan trying to get it back for the Hornets. They do come away with it. They made a nice defensive play, and now time is on the Hornets side for sure, except Gavin Shows lost it. And now it looks like Eastern View is going to call a timeout.
Yeah, that was a timeout. Chris Frazier was out on the field trying to get the referee's attention, trying to get that timeout. They got possession, and they quickly got it called. 44 seconds remaining, trailing 11-10 here at Cyclone Stadium.
Yeah, you're looking down there at Chris Frazier, the head coach, and his team. Well, what did we say from the beginning, Jeff? This was going to be a close game from start to finish. It hasn't disappointed in that way, has it?
Mark, what if we go to overtime and Thomas Payette scores to start overtime? Would that be right along the script?
Well, and I'm thinking in terms of format, if they go to an overtime, I think it's a sudden victory period, isn't it?
I do
Where
believe.
the first goal wins.
I do believe.
Yeah, checking my notes here for some of that. We've been out of the loop for about 3 years now, but we've got to quickly become reacquainted with some of the things. Of course, we've talked about some of the rule changes, but that's not one of them.
So if you're Chris Frazier, as you see him down here talking to his charges, what are you telling them? What play are you setting up? What have you seen from Orange that you think you're going to be able to exploit right now?
You know what? I think if you're the Cyclones, you find a way to get Donovan Elliott the ball. What do you think?
I think you put it in Connor Weeks' hands, let him create some space, and then pass it off to Elliott for one of those sidearm shots. That's what I'm looking for. Try to get Elliott at the top of the key.
Or it could be Brown, Derek Brown, right?
We've seen a lot of him tonight.
You know, this player slipping, falling, losing his traction. That was Elliott, I believe. Now the Hornets trying to get it back. And now the clock, remember, the clock is a factor. We're down to 25 seconds and counting. And Eastern View's got to get repossession before it can even think about tying the game up. Now we're down to 15 seconds. Here come the Cyclones. Crossing midfield, here comes the pressure from behind and now in front. Oh, they got a man down low, right in front of goal. Unable to score was Davian Wilkerson. He had a one-on-one opportunity. I think he simply lost it there, Jeff. And the clock is running.
The clock is running, but I've heard a whistle.
Yeah, there's just a little bit of confusion out there about whether or not that clock should be running. We've got a flag back here on the other side of midfield.
I think with about 14 seconds left, I think I heard a whistle.
And now the official's going to have to sort out, did time expire? If not, how many seconds we put back on the clock?
We're getting some explanation there from the referee. We're waiting to see if they're going to put time back on the clock.
Someone just said 7.6, probably as a joke. That was 7.6 reset earlier, and a little bit of struggle trying to get it to 7.6.
There's 14 seconds on the clock right now, and that's about when I looked up and saw that I thought I heard a whistle at that point in time. It looks like they're picking up the penalty. Nope, I'm sorry, maybe that's number 11. I take that back. Sebastian Ramirez is in the penalty box. Nope, he's out of the penalty box.
Well, it's just a little confusing at this point.
It
because,
is.
I mean, in one sense, the clock ran on. In another sense, there was a flag down. At what point are you going to stop it? And now you've got Ethan Osborne. Looks like he's in the penalty box for Orange County.
12 seconds. 12 seconds.
Oh, now they want to reset it to 12 seconds. So he wasn't. So 12 seconds will be put back on the clock. Orange County down a man here.
Well, Mark, I guess you would say this is the last gasp for the Cyclones, trailing by a goal, 11-10 with 11.7 seconds.
All right, they start the clock. Here it comes. Here comes the pressure. Good defensive play by the Hornets. They knock it loose. They're going to run this clock down. Final seconds here as Greenfield won't have time to heave it downfield. And the Hornets are going to leave Cyclone Stadium tonight with an 11-10 win.
Mark, before the game, we talked with Cyclone head coach Chris Frazier, and he talked about how his team has lost these close games by a goal, by 2 goals, by 3 goals. And again, we look here tonight, and the final score is 11-10. And what a close game. What a battle. The Cyclones came back, rallied, scored 3 unanswered goals in the fourth quarter, and yet they lose by 1 goal.
Well, and you brought up an interesting question. You said, I mean, at what point does that sort of, maybe sting you a little bit psychologically where, last year you were losing these close games. Does it affect you somewhat coming into the night and losing yet another 1-goal game?
At some point in time, you're going to have to break out of that rut. You're going to have to get out of that mentality. And I saw a lot of positive things from the Cyclones tonight, Mark. I really believe that they're this close to being a winning team.
Right.
And that's what they're looking for. They're looking for that first win in 2 years. And when you've had that mentality and you have that situation where you're losing these close games, when you get in this situation, you have to get out of that mindset.
Well, you're right, but I think in all fairness, these two teams were evenly matched.
Oh, yes.
And it could go either way for the longest time. Orange County did build that 4-goal lead. Eastern View came back, 1 goal at the end here, and like you said, very close, and just play here, play there. They're very close to being a team that's going to play with some confidence.
I think so, and that's a great point, that confidence. But then you saw Matt Greenfield, the goalie for the Cyclones, and Reese Horn, the goalie for the Hornets, both playing with confidence, both making big plays. So goalie play was incredible. Really great game tonight.
Jeff, enjoyed calling the game with you tonight, and it's great being back with the Culper Media Network. Our thanks to Nicole Wooten back in the studio, Johnny Krawchuk behind the camera. You did a great job as an analyst tonight. And again, our final score from Cyclone Stadium, Orange County 11, Eastern View 10. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast, and we hope to see you again soon. We know we're going to be back in action, and what are we saying, March 30th?
March 30th, next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, and that's going to be
Eastern View and Culpeper.
All right, Eastern View and Culpeper. That'll be fun. All right, until then, once again, our final score, 11-10 Orange County. Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, featuring Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. From shirts to banners and everything in between, imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. More than just a respected funeral home, Found & Sons supports youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530.